Hello, everyone, and welcome to our special interview to discuss everything about the Royal Caribbean Star Class Suites and the Royal Genie. We are going to give everybody a moment or so to join us, and then we will start some introductions and dive right in to talk about everything you need to know and maybe some surprises that you didn't know about what it means to sail in the ultimate level of service on Royal Caribbean with a Royal Genie. My name is Karen Shelton. I am the owner of My Path Unwinding Travel, and we really specialize in luxury family travel, making family travel hassle-free at a deluxe type of experience for our clients. And we love sailing with Royal Caribbean. So with that, I am super excited to introduce our very special guest, German from Royal Caribbean, who is the Fleet Suites Experience Manager. Hello, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, Karen. Thank you for having me. And sure, I'm happy to answer all the questions you guys might have about our lovely suite program.
Thank you. And can you just tell us a little bit about your background and current role with Royal Caribbean?
Sure. So I've been on the high seas for about 9 years, all the way from Colombia. And hospitality is my passion. So I was able to grow on the industry. And right now I oversee the whole suite program for the fleet in all of our ships. And one of the biggest things under my umbrella will be our Star Class program. And with them come the genies and their amazing experiences.
That is exciting. So you know everything there is to know about the genies and the suites and the top options. And German, you're coming to us from a ship right now.
Correct. I'm currently on Grandeur of the Seas and we are making our way to Jamaica. We are currently at sea.
And you know, for those that wonder about Wi-Fi and internet access, we were chatting earlier before we came on. This is the benefit of Starlink, that you are able to do this video call, and the Zoom high-speed internet is included for Star Suite, correct?
Yes, so our fast internet powered by Starlink is include one device for each guest. So if you have 4 guests on the suite, 5 guests on the suite, each guest will get their own access to the internet.
That is fantastic. So let's dive right in and talk about what or who is a Royal Genie.
All right. So a royal genie is your ultimate insider for the ship. He's gonna be the person that is gonna be your best friend, your personal assistant. He's gonna make the experience better than better. They don't take no usually as an answer. Um, you will have not just an incredible vacation, but you guys are gonna create memories, long-lasting memories and connections on the ship. That's the product that we have, and we maintain it to a very high expectation and to a very high standard as well with the genies. So
And
he's
which
kind of a combination of a mix of a butler. So they have a little bit of everything. They have a little bit of concierge, a little bit of butler, a little bit of a personal assistance, but everything is towards this exclusive and personalized service. They can literally do everything as long as it's not unethical or against our current policies. They'll make the magic happen.
Amazing. And which level of stateroom or ships will have access to a Royal Genie?
So they serve only the top suites from the Star Class program. So we go on the suite program, we go by sea, sky, and Star being on the top, right? They have a maximum of 3 staterooms assigned by voyage that they will care through the cruise. And we are talking about our different ships across the board. We have our ultimate family suite on some ships, which is, crafted for families. And we will have on Icon, we will have the family townhouse as well. So we have a little bit of, let's say, royal suite.
Okay, unfortunately, your audio did break up a second, but hopefully we'll reconnect here and continue. Can you tell me some of the inclusions that guests have that book a star class suite?
Yes, so the amenities that they will have, they have the fastest internet powered by Starlink. They have their private Royal Genie. They will have access to experience all of the specialty dining on board. They also have some private experiences that they are not open to public. So based on your preference, we will arrange, for example, a bridge tour or a backstage galley tour, maybe a visit to the engine control room. We had families that they are a little bit into the showbiz, so we take them to a little back of stage entertainment, or theaters on the Oasis class, Aqua Theater is amazing thing. So we craft those private experiences as well. They get priority departure and expedite departure on the port of call, and they will get scored when they come on board. They basically don't have to line up. They pass through a VIP check-in area on the terminal. The Genie will meet them there, carry them on board, and go ahead with your cruise vacation. And these are the ones I
Amazing.
can remember on top of my head.
And I think also we didn't mention that the ultimate beverage package or the full beverage package is included for all the guests.
Correct. They can have this beverage package for Star Class suites. Is so for adults will be an unlimited deluxe package, which include alcoholic beverage, and then for the minors we have a refreshment package, and they can have smoothies and sodas, and they can have water and things around as well. For our ships where we have Johnny Rockets, they can have milkshakes and have fun with the package.
That's fantastic. And a question that we hear a lot is whether Starbucks is available through the beverage package, and will your Royal Genie pick you up a Starbucks and bring it to you in the morning?
Yes, definitely. That's one of the perks that will come is the Starbucks coffee, and this is something that is not really included on the drink package as a whole, but we do it as an amenity, let's say for the Star class only. If you said at 7 a.m. I want to have my I know it's pumpkin spice season. So if I want to have my pumpkin spice latte at 7 a.m., we're going to make it happen. Or if you want to have it a little bit earlier, that's fine too.
That sounds perfect. I always wait for the exact special day to have my first pumpkin spice latte each year. And since I will be sailing in Star Class in the Royal Suite in October, that is going to be my moment for 2023 to have my
That's,
special pumpkin spice latte.
that's great. That sounds delicious.
So let's talk about when you book a Star Class level suite. When will guests expect to hear from Royal Caribbean and the Royal Genie about beginning to prepare for their cruise?
So we have a standard time frame. 6 weeks before you're sailing, we send you a pre-cruise survey where we want to get as many details as we can from you. Um, this survey honestly doesn't take you more than 5 minutes to do it. We are going to ask you some questions, and the idea is that you let us know a little bit about yourself so that we prepare in advance on amazing surprises. Then 4 weeks in advance the cruise, our genies will make direct contact and they will provide all the information you need to know arrival to the port of call. They will start guiding you and asking you questions. Maybe at that point you have already special requests for celebration, for dinner, for private journeys, and we will take care of every little detail that you might have at that point. We have instances that the guest maybe is a very, very special cruise and they're celebrating something super special and they want us to reach to them a little bit further in advance. So one thing to have in consideration is that Orginian, they are taking care of those guests on board, right? But they are also looking up to in advance to welcoming the next guests, right? So we will do exceptions based on the preference as well, if it's required.
Okay. And so ordinarily, can you just repeat, when should a guest expect to get that initial survey?
The survey should come approximately 6 weeks,
6 weeks.
and then it could come a little bit in advance than that. But the time frame we have is 6 weeks.
Perfect. And so there are some activities that perhaps the guest should work with their travel advisor to plan even before the 6 weeks, even if they have star class, right? They should go ahead and pre-book those things through the cruise planner. What were those activities that you think they should go ahead and plan for?
So one of the, let's say, of our destinations for families, we have the perfect day at Coco Cay, and our cabanas are extremely popular, and they are open to public for bookings. So we give the priorities for star class guests to book, and we will try to make the reservations prices. If you are looking to have a luxurious cabana in perfect day at Coco Cay, book those in advance. We have our staff from private and if you are traveling with extended family as well and you want to invite them to specialty dining, your genie can help you once they are on board. But because the reservations are limited, my advice will be to get those family members that are not on star class, maybe get those bookings done as well for specialty dining.
Okay,
All other
perfect.
activities we can easily do on board shows, hibachi that you have the chef cooking for you. It has very limited space, so that one I will always recommend booking in advance.
Okay, so just, yeah, to confirm, the hibachi and chef's table, go ahead and book in advance. The cabana as well. And I think you broke up for a second, but I think you said at Labadee there's a special services for Star Class for Labadee.
Is for perfect day at Coco Cay. For Labadee, we have a
Okay.
private suite area that is called Barefoot Beach Club. But
Oh, yes.
also the cabanas will be open for sale to public. But on the Barefoot Beach
Okay.
Club, we have open for our suites and Pinnacle Club members. And we have complimentary chairs, umbrella. It's exclusive area just for suites with an upgraded lunch, barbecue lunch on the island.
Okay. But on perfect day, that is something that needs to be reserved and paid for separately. That's not included for Star Class guests. Is that correct?
Yes, for perfect day. So we have the Coco Beach Club. If you want to be part of Coco Beach Club, you need to have either a cabana book or we have separate day pass for the Coco Beach Club that it has the pool and it has the bar service and the lunch is just amazing.
Yeah, I got to experience it previously, and that lunch at Cocoa Beach Club is incredible. And I have a picture of the cabana behind me, and we will be doing that again on our cruise in October. So if anybody wants to join us, we will hopefully be able to invite some of our guests on that cruise. Sorry, in November. Actually, it's November on the Allure of the Seas. Will reach out to us at the email scrolling below if you want to join us on that special 4-night cruise. The 4-night cruise, by the way, on the Allure That's going to be one of the first times that there's a shorter cruise available to experience the Royal Genie and Star Class, because it used to be that those ships only did 7 nights and longer. So this is an exciting opportunity.
It's gonna be a first time for our Oasis class ship doing these shorter sailings, and it's something that we want to do more. Shorter getaways, also for not necessarily if you have a huge amount of time to spend, but we will pack all the fun as well on those voyages.
Exactly, exactly. So if somebody wants to give a try to Royal Caribbean Star Class, um, contact us to plan it. Those suites do sell out very quickly. They are very, very popular. And but those shorter cruises are a great opportunity. So let's talk about how a guest, once they're, getting ready to board and on board, how do they keep in touch with their Royal Genie?
So the options we have right now, we are using WhatsApp, as every guest gets internet. But if for some reason the guest is not comfortable doing WhatsApp, we always have the email available option of the Genie, and they will check it through the day. Or if maybe there's another method of communication the guests prefer, we will try to go by that. But our preferred app will be WhatsApp, and the genies will take care of every request on the spot. So that means you don't need to call guest services, you don't need to call housekeeping, you don't need to line up anywhere. You just contact your genie, you tell them, I want a bottle of champagne, I want some sodas, a smoothie, I'll be by the pool, and they'll make the magic work.
And they will come find you at the pool with your pina colada. Just make sure you have that WhatsApp is the most convenient way. Just download that app. If you're an international traveler, you probably know about it, but it's a great free app that you can use on your phone.
Yes, so usually, like, we have an area in the pool that is also dedicated for suites only, right? So we have the suites on deck, and we will have our bar service available. And on the ship, we have all the crew and everybody is instructed to recognize and give priority to the guests. So when they see your CPAS card, even though you are not with the genie, you will get priority service anywhere on the ship. Um, what our genies do, like for drinks and things, they will coordinate it to be delivered to your stateroom as well, and then they will coordinate that with room service. For example, if for a coffee, or if you would like to have a cocktail in the afternoon in your suite, enjoying in the balcony, they'll make that happen through our room service.
That's amazing. I can imagine sitting in the hot tub with a glass of champagne, watching the sunset. That sounds really special. So let's quickly just touch on a couple of the things that I know that the genie cannot do before we get back into some of the special things that they can do. We were talking about the special designated suite sun deck on the ships. One of the questions that I've heard asked is whether or not the genie can hold space for you by the pool.
This is correct. And it's due to the limited space that we have on public areas. Um, we do have approximately 5,000 guests on board, right? So we don't want to affect also their experience. But usually lounge shares on the, let's say, on Oasis class or even on our Quantum class, the solarium is very popular, let's say, for adults, and then we will have the family pool. But our guests have the option as well if they want a more private experience. So we have the suites on deck exclusive for suites, and we have available casitas. So they're like small little cabanas. They can book them with the genie, and they will coordinate. It does come with an additional price, um, but this depends on the sailing. It's approximately $200.
Okay. So that's just one of the few things that's not included with your Star Class suite. And so let's talk about the shows and entertainment on board. How does the Royal Genie help with that aspect of your cruise?
I love the shows. I think I will never get tired of seeing the shows many, many, many times. The fact that we are able to provide so many options of entertainment, the comedy show, and then we have always a Broadway entertainment show. We have our eye show and things like that. So our genies will offer you the best seats on the house, or in case you have a preferred seat, you can tell your genie, you know what, I really like to be on the bottom row, mid seat, second, if you want to be very specific about it, we can make that happen. But we will always do the suggestion of what are those, according to our experience, what are those best seats of the house. And this is going to be for select entertainment venues, right? So there are this doesn't apply for, let's say, when we do events in public, like the public parades that we do
You're getting a little
so
choppy on
public
us again.
areas.
You're getting a little choppy on us, but just to recap, the Genie can reserve your preferred seats and the seats that they recommend at the production shows, but not at like the public things like the parade or the pub, for example.
Correct. Or let's say they're having trivia, things like this, because they're open to public. But for our main shows or select entertainment venues, we are going to make it happen for Aqua Theater and the Royal Theater and the Studio B, where we do our eye shows. And also
Perfect.
for the Comedy Club. And we are going to do it the the best seats that are available, or based on your preference. If you have I'm very particular about where I sit, so I will always choose mid seat, front row, something like that will be my
Right.
preference, but our
It may
genies
be
will
the
guide you.
right. It may be they don't want to sit in the front row and get splashed at the Aqua Theater or get picked on by the comedian. So maybe they want to be a little further back.
Exactly.
How far in advance does a guest need to show up for the show if the Genie has held their seat? Do they need to come super early or can they walk in at the start?
Okay, so we ask our guests, we open doors 45 minutes to public, and we are going to hold the seats until 10 minutes prior to curtain. 10 minutes
Perfect.
prior to curtain, then at that point we are used to release the seats, because we usually have a lot of people that want to get into those shows. And also the beverage service is limited once we already started the show. So at least 10 minutes prior to curtain, we'll hold the seats.
Perfect. Okay, that seems very fair. What else can you tell us about? Let's talk a little bit more about specialty restaurants, dining. You mentioned that the Genie can mostly arrange the reservations. Can you tell us a little bit more about room service from specialty dining?
Yeah, so for room service, we have the option to order food from the main dining rooms or from the specialty venues during their opening hours. And you can select, let's say you want to do some ship with, today you want to do a Izumi, but tomorrow you want to do shops, and the after you want to do Giovanni's or Jamie's Italian on the ships where we have them available. You can do so. It's gonna be up to you, or you can just order some appetizers and then you can enjoy your dinner on Coastal Kitchen, which is our preferred restaurant for sweets on board. But the only restriction per se is that the food needs to come from one venue. So we cannot mix food from different venues. And this is to offer the best experience that we can, because if we go to different kitchens to get the food, once the food arrives to the suite, it's not going to be the best experience that you will have. We want to get it delivered as fast and as fresh as possible, as if you were on the restaurant. So it's only one venue at a time.
Awesome. Is the food delivered all at once or is it course by course?
The food is delivered all at once,
Okay.
and there's always room for dessert as well.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now, what can you tell us about how the Royal Genie might assist with families or with kids on board?
This is we have so many activities on board, like according to our ships, right? So if we are talking about families, we have the rock climbing wall, we have Ripcord by iFly, the flight simulator, we have the North Star, which is the capsule that goes above, and then you have an amazing panoramic view depending on where we are. We have bumper cars, we have uh, skates, like we have so many activities for them. The good thing about Star Class is that you do get priority for those activities, right? So we have priority access. For example, in Oasis class, we have the rock wall and the zip line. They will have priority access there for those activities during the opening times. Um, the genie will help you to, let's say, that's the magic of the genie, because not all the families are built the same, right? But maybe we notice that one of your family members maybe enjoy coloring or enjoy painting, so we will have few surprises here and there to enhance the experience of the little ones as well as the adults.
Amazing. And how does the Royal Genie help maybe with access to the Kids Club, Adventure Ocean, that sort of thing? Is there any ways the Genie helps there?
Yes. So we also have, I forgot to mention, we get 1 hour of private lessons for the flow rider.
Mm.
Um, for those guests that would like to do those, this is an amenity exclusive for the Star Class. And for Adventure Ocean, like let's say that night you want to go on a date, formal night it usually will be, and then what the genie can do, while they cannot do babysitting, we do allow them to do the check-in and check-out. So you need to give your permission in Adventure Ocean. They can take the kids, let's say, from the suite to Adventure Ocean, and then from Adventure Ocean to meet you in the dining room, but they cannot babysit them. And it's gonna be depending on the schedule, because we always ask two genies to be, let's say, escorting the kids. Right now, when we talk about minors, we are very very careful, and then we want them to have a safe vacation and we want them to have fun.
That makes a lot of sense, but that can be a great perk for clients, as you're trying to get ready for dinner and, you don't want to have to run across the ship to bring them to the club. So that could be very handy to have two Royal Genies make your kids feel so special to get to Adventure Ocean or back to your suite. And that brings up a question. How many suites does each Royal
And they,
Genie cover, and what are their hours?
so our genies lamp hours, let's say, it depends on their suites. How often will they go to their lamp to recharge their magic? Because usually they will have between 3 to 4 suites, maximum four. We can talk about standard hours, let's say from 8 to roughly 2 p.m., and then we can say maybe 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. But as you have communication through WhatsApp, the genie is never gonna tell you, please don't call me because I'm on my lamp. The genie will encourage you to have that communication, and the genie has such a personal service that it feels like you're talking to a friend, and don't feel, let's say, if they have any request, or genie will make it happen. And if for some reason the genie is already retired and definitely on the lamp, right? We have our guest services team available 24 hours. We have a priority line for the suites, and when they recognize all over the ship or Star Class, they will get the priority always. And room service as
Perfect.
well. When they know it's one of our Star Class, we have very very high expectation with them.
Perfect. One of the other benefits we talked about is personal shopping. Can you just touch on how the Genie can help if you have a request you want to purchase?
We do have luxury brands on board like Rolex, and we have special boutiques on board. So if you are into shopping, but maybe you don't like the crowds, or Genie can arrange private experience, and we can coordinate with the shops managers, and they will go ahead and help us with that. But this is on a, let's say, request basis, and then how much you want to shop, let's say. And we have
Look,
also Cartier. So we actually arrange this experience, but they are upon request.
perfect. But if we see like a certain T-shirt or souvenir that we would like from the shop, we can request that the genie maybe purchase it for us, so we don't have to stand in line at the shop if we already know what we want.
If you had already lined up there, what we try to do is we do this for, let's say, um, luxury items. But if
Okay.
it's something that the guest is looking forward to do, we will do on a case by case basis as well.
Got it. Okay. Now, one of the most frequent questions we hear about the genie and about concierge is gratuities. Can you share a little bit about how gratuities are handled for Star Class and for the genie?
So the gratuities are already, let's say, included on the cruise fare for a star class guest, right? When it comes to our housekeeping services and our general gratuities, they are already included on the cruise fare. But when it comes to recognizing the service of the genies or your suite attendant, this is entirely up to the guest, and this is how you would like to recognize them. Our motto is that we don't really work for the title of work, because we are customer service professional, because we love our job. I include myself there. Our genies are super passionate. They go, so this pin I have today, let me remove it, I'll try to get it to the camera. They proudly wear this pin, and this pin is from the British Butler Institute, which we have an association with. So after we have a high standard of service, when they go into our housekeeping suite, we will do a certification. We call them a boot camp, let's say. It's a 7 day course.
You're cutting out a little bit on us
And
again,
the
German.
Royal
I
Wedding.
really do want to hear about this, the Butler training. I think you said it's a 7 day boot camp. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sorry. It is a 7 day boot camp, and that's where the genies will get all their knowledge, and they already have these very specific skills, but with this certification they're proudly wearing these ones. And we learned so many things during that boot camp, like how to better serve our guests, and it's just amazing. These give them that extra, and I feel like it's one of the things that make us different than other cruise lines that have a similar service. These add that extra elegance and a special touch. All our genies are so elegant in their own way, and I'm extremely proud of them.
It sounds like it's just a really elevated level of service, and every guest will just have to decide if they want to recognize that with an additional gratuity.
Correct.
Okay. So what what happens at the as guests are in port? Is there any priority for helping guests get off the ship into port, or at the end of the cruise debarkation?
Yes. So we talk a little bit about the priority arrival, let's say, when you check in, and it's pretty much you come all the way up, and you're pretty much starts your vacation is seamless. And then you have the priority departure. So for priority departure, we will ask you to do the luggage the night before. You can do it. So for regular guests, we ask them to have it ready by 10 p.m., no later than 10 p.m. For our star class guests, you can do it anytime until departure morning 8 a.m. So until the morning of departure, we will pack your luggage. We will check in. breakfast in the suite restaurant that's Coastal Kitchen.
You're freezing up on us again, but I heard that we can have Star Class guests can have their luggage out up until 8 a.m. the morning of departure. And were you saying something about breakfast on the morning of departure?
Yes, so they can have breakfast on the suite restaurant that's Coastal Kitchen, and then from, or if they just want to wait until it's time for departure, or Genie will escort them all the way through the gangway into the terminal, and they will say goodbye right before customs. And this is just due to custom regulations, right? But basically it's express checkout, no lines required, and they will just take you out and you will not have to experience any lineups. When we do the different ports of call as well, we have our guests. They will coordinate with the guests if they want to be the first ones to be off the ship, but that will happen if that's what they require. Or when we have some ships, for example, in Europe, Santorini, that we have to tender, we will give priority towards suite guests. And we will ask them at what time they would like to debark, and then we will escort them through the gangway into the tenders as well.
Perfect. And speaking of, debarkation, that reminds me about breakfast. Is breakfast available through room service? Is that from Coastal Kitchen? And is that available on the last day or not? I know that sometimes can be tricky on the last day.
Yes, so our breakfast is gonna be available on departure morning for the suite guests, and is a full service in Coastal Kitchen. It's not just continental breakfast; it's full service departure breakfast for our guests.
Can guests get it through room service on the last morning?
On the last morning, no, we have limited items, but we can coordinate with the Genie, perhaps some snacks, some pastries, a coffee. That we can do. But a full items for breakfast, unfortunately, no, being the departure morning is very hectic for the ship, and it's not gonna be. Again, every time we do something, we want to make it the best that we can, and if we cannot deliver that, we will not do it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But otherwise, you can have breakfast in your suite delivered on all the other days. And Coastal Kitchen is a fantastic restaurant option for suite guests. And that is also available to Sky Class guests. So that's one option if you weren't able to reserve Star Class, that you can still enjoy the Coastal Kitchen and the Concierge Lounge.
Correct. And it's a favorite, I have to say. When someone travels with us, they forget about the main dining room.
Exactly. So unless you're traveling with others that are not suite guests, Coastal Kitchen will be your main dining room. You can either have that or, specialty dining is all included with your reservation. So as we're wrapping up, this has just been so informative, Dermot. I'm so appreciative of your time. Let's talk about the wow moments. Some of your, this is always a frequent question, and we have this question from Facebook coming in about what's your most interesting or fun requests that a Royal Genie has received, or what kind of stories can you share with us about how the Genie really elevates and makes the experience special?
Well, somebody mentioned Stefan. Here he is, I think. On the comments, I'm reading Stefan walk us down the best seats every time. It's nice to hear his name. He's currently on Singapore market with the Spectrum of the Seas. I do have few experiences. I was going to this one is phenomenal. I'll share with you guys. So we had a Royal Genie Israel Sanchez from Mexico, and he said that the most magical moment that he can ever experience as a Royal Genie is that he was very fortunate to arrange a gender reveal for the
Oh,
couple. So they got the results in an envelope, and they were unaware of the gender. They gave it to the Royal Genie, and they left everything on his hands, right? So what he did is like he did a cake, and then in the middle of the cake it was a small box and another box, like blue, and then it was pink, and then at the end it was an envelope that it was blue. But when they opened it, he had all his other royal genies with him, and then they sprinkled like some pink confetti, and they made the reveal that it was a baby girl. So this is, for example, one of the many experiences that we have with the genies, and it all depends of how open. And this is one advice for future guests: don't be afraid to share. Our genies are very active listeners, and they have extreme training on listening to details. So they will catch every single detail and they will try to make the best. But don't be shy. Ask for questions. Ask for things, and if we can do it, we will definitely go ahead.
So that survey is so much more important than just, do you like red or white wine? It really helps the genie get to know you so they can make things more special for you.
Correct.
Awesome. Can you share one more wow moment for a genie from a genie before we wrap up?
Yes, absolutely. So we had another genie. His name is Jay Galagate from France, and the moments that he shared with us, um, he's been a genie for 7 years. That's pretty much the whole since we launched the program. And this family was so happy to come on board, and they had recently opened a restaurant, and the name of the restaurant, it was just a small or is just a small town girl. And this is inspired by the lyric of the song Don't Stop Believing, right? And then we have a guest entertainer on board. It's a group called Mosaic. We have them on board our Oasis Club, and they were so happy with the conversation they were having. And then Jay arranged this a cappella group to come into the suite, and he made like a little surprise party celebrating the opening of the restaurant, wish them to do the best, and Mosaic song Don't Stop Believing. That was like a very special moment for them. Then in the near future, the group went and visit the restaurant of the Star Class guests. They sent us some amazing picture on social media. Um, so yes, I think we love. I get a little bit emotional because we love creating these moments. We love crafting experience, and again, this is what we love to do. We do it with passion, and it really shows.
I get just chills thinking about that moment, that couple got to listen to a cappella, like inspired by their new restaurant opening. And they must have been so blown away by the attention and care that it took to put all that together, put all the pieces of what was important to them together. And these are just such great examples. So, thank you so much, German, for taking all this time to share with us and let us know all the amazing things about Star Class and the Royal Genie. Anything that we didn't cover that you want to make sure we talk about?
There's one more thing. Even though we go by the motto of "Your wish is my command," a royal genie cannot be 100% guarantee. But I can guarantee you that all the genies are unique and they do magic on their own ways. So don't be afraid. I know we like to go for what we already met and what we already know, but don't give it an opportunity. All our genies are fantastic.
That's a great tip. So, if you've had a genie, realize that, they might be on another ship, they might be, assisting in a different set of suites on that sailing, but they've all gone through that training that you talked about. And I think communication is also just really, really key. Just, give them a chance, as you said, to make everything not just right, but amazing for your cruise.
Correct. And I cannot see the names, but I can see they wrote a comment about Stefan, about the Steelers blanket as a departure gift. This is a little secret, but it's not so secret. Our genies, they do try to make a little thoughtful gift for everybody. So it could be a letter, it could be a little mug, it could be something that we think um, we want you to remember the cruise. And our genies, they will do this based again on the preference and the things that we have shared with them, and it all depends on the itinerary and things that they are doing.
Perfect. That's something I did not know, and it's a nice touch to surprise the guests. Well, once again, thank you everybody for listening. Those of you who are watching the recording, we appreciate you taking the time to learn from us. Our email address is info@mypathonwinding.com. It's been scrolling across the bottom of your screen. You can reach out to book your next Royal Caribbean cruise with us, whether it be Star Class or any stateroom on any Royal Caribbean cruise. We are really excited as an agency that My Path on Winding Travel is sailing together on the Allure of the Seas, November 6th through 10th, out of Port Canaveral. It's a 4-night cruise going to Coco Cay, and many of us will have already booked Star Class, so we will be hosting some events so you can experience it and see it, and hopefully maybe join us in that overwater cabana. So we are super excited and super grateful, German, to you, to your time, and to Royal Caribbean for our partnership. And thank you again, everybody, for listening.